things simply and go about my business. But I'm very passionate. Every time, anything I do it with all my heart.
You don't like PR, but today unatupiga PR.
I don't.
Hiyo saa ya disco unavaa si ile saa tumejua. How can my watch be expensive than yours? That is not even adding up. Leo umekuja na saa ya disco. Inua hivi kidogo.
My friend, this is a very...
Korir, ebu zoom in hapa. Ona.
This is a very expensive watch. Yeah, very. This is Casio G-Shock. This is according to social media. Yeah, not according to me.
Okay.
According to social media, this watch costs about, I think I saw 400,000 or 700,000. But this is a very important watch to me. I tell you a small story.
Okay.
My first watch, I wore it in 1991. Yeah, I was then in class 6. My first watch.
Okay.
How did I get this watch? My father wanted to motivate me to work harder. Okay? He had seen me, I don't know, he had some watch there. I think it was given by his friend. So I always really liked my father's watch. So once in a while I would wear it and so forth. And then there was this priest called Father Reynard, who is, in where I come from, is like the first leader in our area. It's like the MP. So, in his, so Father Reynard really used to pull his sweater up and so forth and had this very nice watch. So my father told me, okay, he realized that obsession with a watch. So he told me, if you become number 1, I was always number 3. I never used to beat the other 2 guys who were ahead of us. So I was number 3 and sometimes 4. So he told me, if you become number 1, I'll buy you a watch. My friend, I read, revised, read in one term. I became number 2. But this number 2, my teachers could not allow me to become number 1. Because they were wondering how suddenly in one term, I have moved from consistent number 3, number 4 to number 1. It's not possible. So I remember it was home science. I had got 88 marks, and I think the other guy got 87 or something like that. For some reason, I ended up having 85. I cannot forget that thing. As a result, the number 1 beat me with 1 mark. So I went home and I cried. Told my dad, I never managed it, despite the way I worked hard. There was a time I read at home, because we were using, we used to have the tin lamp. You know?
Boy.
Yeah, that one. Yeah. So, the smoke and all that. So I had read until my father told me, go and sleep, because it was about 3 in the morning. Just tell me, go to sleep. So, akanihurumia. Akaniambia, okay, you have earned it. So I don't know if he sold his mbuzi or kondo or whatever. He used to be a hustler also there. He had a shop or whatever. He bought me the first watch, which was a Casio. Yeah? It wasn't G-Shock then. It doesn't become a G-Shock then. So the other day, I was on an official trip. Yeah? And I found this Casio on one of the airports. And I bought it myself to remind myself of the first watch I ever wore. So this is very important for me. It's a vintage. It's okay. Even though the amount was like 9,000 shillings, but value-wise in my heart, yeah, it's more valuable than the other watches that are.
This watch is 9,000.
It's about 9,000 yes.
USD.
Kenya shillings. But of course, it
just checking.
Where I bought it was 9,000, but somebody told me the other day he saw it in one of the shops 13,000 and so forth. Depends.
G-Shock.
Yeah, this is a G-Shock.
13,000.
Yeah. How much is it? And where you bought it?
Me G-Shock yangu tofauti. Mi yangu ni zile zingine, but it's not 9,000, but it's mambo.
Lakini imelete pia.
Ipe imeleta mambo.
Juzi when I watch it, when I owe it, it quickly, it was like 400,000, 700,000. So it has its own problem.
Hii ni shamba hii.
Yeah?
Hiyo ni shamba.
Wakasema ni shamba.
Ile ingine ilikuwa pesa ngapi?
The other one was expensive. Yeah, let me just say the truth, because
nothing but
there's
the truth.
There's no point of lying. That is not the truth. But it is not the cost that people present on social media. And the reason is because it was sold to me by my friend. Okay? There are two watches that keep popping in the social media. The first one, I bought it. Not as expensive as they talk about it. The second one, a friend of mine came and said, because he saw the other on social media, he came and told me, I sell watches. Yeah? Do you want me to sell you Rolex? I said, yeah, why not? Yeah? He said, yeah. He sold me at a third of the price. Yeah, 30% of the price that is being used on social media, or thereabout. And he even gave me time to pay it slowly. No, that's true. That is true. And so recently I asked him, my friend, first you put me in trouble. And I'm sure he's watching. I hope he's watching. So I told him, my friend, you put me in trouble. But most importantly, why did you sell me this watch this cheaper than what people are saying about the watches in the market? He told me, I wanted to keep it for myself. But I didn't want to also to give you for free. I wanted you to feel like, you've spent something and valuable to you to take this watch. So, of course, he told me, yes, it is true. It is costing as high as some of the figures that I see on social media. So, Obina, let me tell you something. In life, in this life that we live in, there are things that sometimes are vanity that you find yourself, you end up buying. For example, shoes. My wife, if we travel to her to a shop after church, and there's good shoes that are somewhere, she will tell me, hey, don't look that side, turn this way. In fact, now my children know. We go together, even the smallest ones. They say, Dad, don't look at that side, look at this way. Why? Because they know if I see a good shoe, I may forget that I was supposed to go and buy unga and buy the shoe. So you get yourself at home and you are like, the things that you wanted to buy that are very primary to you, why did you leave it and you go and buy something else? The truth, and I don't want to lie to you, the truth is that every human being, including yourself, there is that thing that diverts you away from using the resources you have to invest on something better. I appreciate the comments that have come from Kenyans to say, why are you wearing an expensive watch or an expensive shoes? And it is true. Had I taken this money, perhaps to invest in money market, to buy something in bonds and so forth, maybe it would have had me interest and move and do something else. Had I used that money to expand my avocado farm, maybe I would earn a few dollars by exporting those avocados and so forth. But once in a while in life, I really want to tell all Kenyans that have faulted me for wearing those watches that is my weakness. But I am willing to correct myself, because there is a verse in the Bible that says, if there is something that makes you to sin, if your eye makes you to sin, remove it. If your hand makes you to sin, it better be cut out. If a watch or a certain type of shoes are going to make the people I serve, distract their attention from the key things that I must be held account to, and perhaps divert attention of a citizen or a family member or whatever, I have said this to my friends, that watch can stay. Yeah?
But yours is not the problem, the watch or the shoe. The problem is the money.
The money of that watch.
Where are you getting the money to spend it? Because you have a lot of money that most people can't explain where it's coming from, and that's where the problem. People don't mind you wearing whatever.
Yeah.
But when you can't explain, that's when we're like, wait a minute. For example, let's just do a quick check. What's the most expensive shoe you have in your closet?
Most expensive shoe might be 70,000, 80,000.
Belt?
Belt 40, 50.
Never belt here 50,000.
Well, I want to be honest with you, yes.
Okay.
But I don't need to wear 2 belts in 2 years. 1 belt is enough. How many belts do you want?
Mimi niko na tatu za 50.
Hapana, wewe ujui nunua belt moja ya
Ya
50,000 lakini nunua ya kupendua. Brown upande huu, black upande huu. Ujui bwana. Na itakuwa ni quality. Sasa ukitande brown side, people think you have another belt.
Nipige tu hiyo 50.
Yeah.
Nikupange. Haya, the most expensive watch you have?
That which I bought with my own money.
Yes.
Well, it was almost like I think if I remember well, because it's time now, it's about 900,000 or something. Watch, yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
No, it was, I think, summary of that, yeah.
Haya. So if we do the quick math, for example, of this expensive watch, then the belt ya 50,000 tuko 950, then tucheze na viatu. Umesema viatu ni 80.
Yeah.
Let's round it off to 100.
Yeah.
So let's say 1.1 something.
Yeah.
Someone can leave the house anatembea hivi.
Yeah.
Unajua kutoka juu mpaka chini, amevaa kitu kama 1.5 because bado tuhesabu shati.
Uvai yote safari moja. We ujui.
Sasa sina ndajuaje.
Uvai yote safari moja. Unapanga.
Ukitoka na saya 1 million
expensive, unavaa hii suit yako kidogo ya 20 or 30,000. So ile ingine ina
una balance. So nakupata. So tuseme hii ndo siku umetoka na saya 900.
Yeah.
Then umevaa suit ya 30,000.
Yes.
Tuko 930.
Maybe something,
nini ingine?
Yeah.
Tai?
Tai ni kitu kidogo 20 hivi. Yeah.
20,000.
Yeah, there about.
Unavaa? Okay.
Sikia, that watch ukinunua, and let me tell you something that somebody told me, because I'm now obsessed with these things and studying and so forth.
Okay.
If you buy watch, hiyo ya 900,000, you wear it for 20 years.
So you
don't keep saying mwezi ujao another one, you know, something like that.
Okay.
If you buy your shoe, a nice shoe, you wear it for 2 years. Okay? If you buy a good belt, and I told you ununue yenye kupendua upande
wangu. Umesema unanipea
50,000. Unavaa hiyo 2 years.
Yeah. Okay. So this is where I was going.
Na bado unang'ara tu
Okay. So this is where I was going.
Alafu unatafuta time nzuri na shine hivi.
Ya 30,000.
15, 20 inang'ara.
Tai.
Unasurvive nayo.
Wacha tusiingie personal.